Okay. Alright, so should be streaming now. Let me make sure stuff's going through. So what I worked on yesterday was these two guys. Yeah, not that guy. This guy. It feels like it was longer ago than it was, but it was these two pieces that are just the opposite versions of one another. One is a stencil and one is the animation. Stencils on the left, which is why it has a negative space, and the receiving substrate is on the right. And I'm curious about doing that in some other formats, but what I want to mess with is getting into making an art book of some kind, possibly making it where I can produce more of them at once. And what I'm curious about doing is, somewhere I have a drawing of this, but I'll use this piece of paper because it's a little less strong of a thing. But I want to maybe have a Coptic stitch book so that I have something that can like lay completely flat or be a little bit more manipulated. Something that has a spine that's very flexible so that it can create a circle. So like if it were completely, almost like a Rolodex, that it has, I'm gonna color this in to be the cover, and then the other cover is here, and then there are additions or whatever you call them coming off to whatever side. And it sort of forms this structure. And what I want to explore is using a structure like this, but having pages that interlock with one another, where this is the spine here, the spine falls here, and one page sort of folds out, and it intersects with the next page by a tab or something, either on top and bottom, and having a cutout section in the middle here that functions as a means of like a zoetrope. So a zoetrope functions where you have a spinning space like this, and then you have slots cut into the edge, and you view across it and you have animations on the middle, and you spin it on a center point, and as it rotates it breaks apart the images and you get animation visualized. I want to be able to have that in a foldable book, and I think a Coptic stitch is maybe the best option for that, so that it has like a very clean thing. And then on the covers, having magnets that are in like the top and bottom section, I went ahead and ordered some tiny magnets so that the book closes. I was trying to think earlier today about whether or not how it would close and whether or not it would stay closed and open. I think it would, but if you have a magnet installed here and here in the cover, and the north is facing this way and the south is facing this way, then you have the north facing this way and the south facing this way. If you were to rotate this, you would flip it around and the south would be facing here. So it should lock on either side if the spine is here and it rotates open through there. So that should work if I orient the magnets correctly. So that should work. That's just something that I had trouble visualizing solely in my head earlier, but should function. I'll need to double check test when I build stuff out. But what I wanted to mess with today was trying to build out a just structure of what each page might look like. It would actually be 2 pages at any given time and then the next set. So this is a piece of paper, and what I'm imagining, I'll just cut it out with scissors. Actually, I'll do this with a ruler and a blade so that I get the same width to things. I can work with this at 2 inches. And these will need to be longer than I think. Also, I'll need to work out the math of how long stuff has to be. But, yeah, let's just do 2 of these guys and see what it feels like. So I need another inch or 2 inches of paper. I'm not sure. I'll probably just tape these together as a test sort of thing. But if you have an edition like this, and let's fold these for my own sake. I'm just going to do them 3 inches out. That only really affected that. I guess it got 2. Okay. Is this 3 inches out? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'll probably end up doing this like manufactured and not fully by hand, like using the Cricut to build this out. But if these fold like this, go ahead and cut a tab into each of these. So let's just put this, I'm just going to do 1 inch down and 1/2 inch over. So if this is the case, something like that, and then let's cut this just up a bit, cut this up a bit, and cut these guys. And you end up something like this. And so let's repeat that over here. These are folded. I'm gonna cut most of the way up on this 1/2 inch sort of marker. And cut that fairways down. And what you end up with concept-wise, and I would want to make this a little bit prettier and whatever. You have this sort of structure, and then I have done something before where it just cuts here, but ideally I think it would look more interesting when the book is folded, conceivably, to have something that's visible through here. The idea would be that it rotates. I don't know how well it would function, but you would have a cut through here. It's easier to use for curved elements, or just inserts rather than exteriors. Out. It shouldn't be too large. It might be something that I have to experiment with, but let's cut these in the same spot over here. Give or take a little. And I'm just going to tape this because it will function similarly to how the book would be. Just so it has a little more structural bits about it. Come on. And now, so this structurally makes sense and it works. Conceivably, I need to map out how things. I would want a flat base that would possibly be hidden in the cover itself. So it would be like something that folds out and at least gives a sturdy base underneath here, which would mean from the cover, the cover would just be 3 inches by 2 inches. It would just sort of be here. How wide did these end up being? So 2.5. This is an approximate. How did that end up working? Because it has to connect back in here, but there's nothing that it's grabbing onto. Could latch onto something else, but that's something that needs to be solved. It could even be just sandwiched between if they're 2 magnets. Something like that, but then that's another fold. Anyway, let me cut this. That is too long. I made this too long. How long are these? A full inch shorter. Anyway, It's just like a semicircle. Doesn't even have to be a semicircle, but just something that folds out and rotates out. Something like this. Or even a little further. More magnets in the mix. I think this might be structurally okay on its own. It has to come with some sort of like mechanism that fits in the back, even if it's just like a dowel rod. Something that when this is folded back in, if there's something that goes around the edge. Just like a loose guy that holds a dowel rod. Something I'm curious about is if these are animating in some way, but still functional, like just rotating or moving, or just slits that are adjusting so that when it changes position, you have similar outcomes to stuff that's on the interior. If the interior is like sprayed or painted or somehow, so it's sort of like the whole thing builds on itself or functions within itself. But it doesn't quite work because, or maybe it does. Because these are just like folded here, folded here, folded here, folded here. Each page has its own thing. I just have to be aware of structurally how stuff functions. Because I think it could be interesting to just sort of like have all these spray somehow, and then have other elements that go about it. Even if it's like, I think a silhouette of some walking element or something like that. Or like the little running characters that I did that are 16 frames. If you were to do it with black ink or black paint, then it would help with the structure to have a really strong contrast. I think that could work. Like, I've got those little running characters, the figure that's just sort of running like that. If those figures are placed across some space here, and as long as it's a blank space, then when you rotate it, it should function. And like using those little guys, but just doing black or color doesn't really, if it finishes with black or something, multiple color would be fun and interesting. I think I might try to do just that running figure and use the running figure's negative space as the view slots into this overall structure. If I have 16, it's going to be a little bit tight. I need to figure out math of stuff. Because if I have a book, I guess it really depends on how far out the elements are. Probably going to be working with 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Might try to get something that's a little bit more robust than what I have. Find some acid-free cardstock. But if I have 15 or 16 frames, that means that I have a 16-sided structure. I need to build in a little bit of extra space for both covers and what will be in the middle. It's less an issue. Trying to figure out if it's more or less of an issue. Let's try a 16 frame. So that's like bum, 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 bum. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That's not what I'm looking for. It's 8 sides. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 sides. Each triangle is 360 divided by 16. This goes into it 2 times. It's 32. Subtract, that's 40. Goes into it 2.5. 22.5 degrees for that. And I forget the math for what this is. Because this will be an equilateral triangle. So, and if this is 22.5, how do I work out the math of how long this is? Square. There's math for this. Like, let's say that this is 4, this is 4. Or wait, no, let's make this. If this is 4, that's hypotenuse. I do not remember how to do this mathematically. I haven't done this in a while. Side angle side. Cosines. We know this and this. Side angle is the one that changes. Cosine. I haven't done this in so long. Let's see. Actually, it ends up being a smaller angle. This is 22.5, then it's 11.25 degrees. This is 90 degrees. I really forget how to do this. Not equilateral. Types of triangles. That is spelled wrong. Okay. Isosceles? Isosceles. Okay. That's an isosceles triangle. I did this in sophomore year. Okay, solving the base. Properties of isosceles triangles. Vertex, angle, leg, base. Ugh. Okay. Basic properties, triangle with the base. Equals, I don't need length. Vertex measure. I really forget how to do this math. Solve base isosceles triangle. B equals perimeter? I don't have the perimeter size. Solve for base. Solve base triangle side angle side. See if this pops up with it. Side length and angle. That's okay. C divided by 2 equals B sine of 22.5. So, what is B? Okay, B is the length. So, actually it's B sine 11.25. Okay, so if I want to have C, I do 2 times B sine 11.25. And if I have is that going to work for whatever length I have? That's because it'll be proportional, correct? Okay. 16 sides, or 16 triangles. Doing the math on this. Let me double check that this is correct. Calculator. 16 times 22.5 equals 360. Okay. Now let's try 2 times 4 times sine clear 11.25 sine times 4 times 2. If I have a 4-inch on either side, let me see if this works out. 4-inch, 4-inch, and this length is 1.56 inches, potentially, on a triangle that has a central pivotal, I don't know what you call those angles, of 22.5 degrees. Let's just get this going. Okay, so 4 inches, 4 inches. Inches, 4 inches. This folds out here, and this folds here, and if I make this 1.56 inches, be a little bit off. 1.56. approximate. It's a relatively small space. I forget what these are called. Seems about right. Let's draw this out and see if it does the same. Measure these out to be 4 inches. Just over 1.5 inches. I think I got the math correct. So, if I'm working with, what's the max that I can get on this? So this is 8.5 by 11, and let's just say that I make it 11 inches. It actually ends up being a little less space than what I have here. I'm looking at something kind of like this. Let me build this out. I'm going to use Cuddle for this. Okay, so got that loose formula. On the back of here. Okay. I can make this mathematically. Let's see how this ends up going. Okay, so Cuddle XYZ. New project. Okay, so let me come over to OBS, pull up. I think I might have gotten rid of. I don't need another scene. I would like a window capture, Firefox. And make sure I don't have anything extraneous open. And come back here. Where is... Okay, Firefox needs to come way back. And Firefox is... Firefox Untitled Project. And I need to scale this down significantly. Okay. So, Cuddle is a program that I've used that you can do like a little bit of. It's a browser-based program that will output stuff as vectors prepped for things like Cricut, CNC-based things. Let me change this unit setting to inches because that's what I'm most comfortable with. Grid divisions, 0.1 inch, that's fine. Okay. come back to component A, and you can, this is book test 2023-04-26 book test, and I'm gonna pull in a rectangle, and I'm gonna do some math in here. Parameter 1 is page number. In this case, I'm working with 16, and now I need page angle, I guess, and that'll be 360 divided by page number, and then I need to single page length, and that will be just what I want it to be. Now I need to have a flap length, which will be 2 times single page length times sine of page number divided by 2 times, and then if this is 4, oh wait, no, this is page angle. Okay, so that seems like it's working correctly, and let's take this rectangle and change its position to 0, 0. Take the scale and make it, let's throw in, get rid of this component, because I don't need it. Delete parameter, I want universal ones. This is page height. And the page height, we're just going to have it be 2 for the time being. So get back to this rectangle. Give it a fill, just because it's easier to track it a little bit. And this will be, scale for X will be single page length, and the height will be page height. So we got this is single page, and let's actually offset this position to negative single page length divided by 2. Single page, I'm going to call single page A, and we're going to copy and paste this. This will be single page B, and that will just be single page length divided by 2. So now we have what would be each page next to one another, and we're going to add another rectangle in here that has a fill, and this will be a page height. Oh, I don't want that for the position. The position is single page length and this is 0. And this will be plus flap length divided by 2. And the scale of this will be page height, and the width will be flap length. So this is sort of how it conceivably functions. Now I need to also include so this is flap, and this is flap or tab, and tab will be another one that has a weird bit. So let's make this a tab height is going to be, at least temporarily, page height divided by 2. So this scale is tab height. And the width is, add another one here, tab width is just going to be tab height divided by 2. Just as an easy thing, I might change those parameters later. So this is tab width. And yeah, let's make this divided by 3. Position wise, this needs to be, what's the math on this? Select this. The position on X is page single page length plus flat length plus tab width divided by 2. And this location is 0. Okay. Tab height. We're going to make it negative tab height. And so all of these are reactionary. So if I increase the number of pages that are in here, the angle will adjust and that flab will change. If I want to change the length of each page, it'll shift as well. They have a relationship now. Let me save a version of this, and we're good on that bit. Okay. So this guy. I am going to do something with this. I'm going to grab all these and do a Boolean union. So now these are all one full shape. And something I need to do is I'm gonna round these. Why not round it? Okay, modify round corners. Make it pretty small. But now you can see that there are little round corners here. Actually, no need for the round corners. They look nicer, feel nicer. Okay, now I need to add, I'm just going to add a line. And point 1 will be, single page length plus flap length. That can sit where it needs to be. And this is overhanging, so let's duplicate this one. This is going to be single page length plus flap length plus, oh, that's it. And the location of this will be page height divided by 2. Actually, negative page height divided by 2. Plus tab height divided by 3. Tab height minus tab width. No, just you know what? Let's not have it related to that. Let's have a new variable, which is slit length. Slit length is going to be tab height divided by 2. And I can adjust that as necessary. So let's come to this line here. And where is my, okay. Plus slit length. And this one is this again with negative page height divided by 2 plus tab height. And let's get rid of the round corners for this sake right now. So now we have this line that intersects here, and what I need is to actually double this up and also create some score lines. Okay, score lines are going to be this is 0 and tab height, not tab height, page height divided by 2. Let's put this one up top, negative page height divided by 2, and now take, this one is 0 tab, page height divided by 2, and that's that line. This is center score line. I actually need to take this flap, duplicate it. This will be flap B. This will be flap A. And this just needs to be negative. Does that do what I need it to? It should. And this is tab A. Make this tab B. And tab B is at negative minus or negative single page width minus minus flap length. Divided by 2. Where? Okay, this is negative single page width. Got that. Oh, okay. I need to adjust that on flap B. No, flap A. Oh, minus. That's what I was having issues with. So this is flap A. I'm going to rename this in just a moment. Negative single page. You know what? Let's delete this. Copy paste. Tab A. Tab B will be what it is. Tab A will be adjusted. And for that, I need to change the position on this to make it negative. Minus. Minus. So this is a full length of what I want. And line 1, this is tab B cut. Tab A cut. Tab A cut, I need to change. This is negative minus, and this is negative and minus. And those are both cut. This is center score line. I need a score line that falls. This is flap A score line. And that needs to be negative single page length. And this needs to be negative single page length as well. Flap B score line. And this switches to being just positive and positive. And I need one more score line, which I also need a so I got those going. I need a flap A cut, and this needs to be okay. This is flap A cut. Flap A needs to be just negative single this guy, and page height divided by 2. Plus I forget what the slit length, plus slit length. So that's flap A cut. Duplicate this. This is flap B cut. And these need to just shift to being over here. those maintain their own thing. These are going to be modify. I'm just gonna make this a group. Score marks, and these are slit cuts, and we're gonna make this be what is the actual tab cut location? That's slit length. Okay. Should function score marks. I'm going to add a modifier. This is going to be dashed lines, and this will be I don't need offset. I want this to be a 0.1. Let me add a variable here. This is dash and dash gap. I'm gonna make this 0.1 and 0.3. Let's come to a dash line. This is dash, comma, dash, gap. I don't need it to be a lot of stuff. I just need it to function as a score mark. And where is this offset come into play? It's not so much anything, but it could mess up. This might be better not as dash marks, but as just if I can give these a fill that are red, and let's delete that. Score marks. This will be something to deal with in Cricut. But let's see. Can I get I just want to have something that lets me know page total length, and this is going to be single page length times 2 plus flap length plus tab width. That's 14. So single page, that's if it's 5, that's 12. If it's 4, that's 9.7. How does this save as? Groups will be ungrouped. All shapes the same color will be pre-attached. Black will be replaced with gray. Okay, let's take this and give it just its base fill. Let's see how this exports. So let's save this for Cricut and open up Cricut, and I'm going to see how this looks. I also might see what it looks like in Illustrator, because this could be something that's easier to set up in Illustrator. Four-inch little book is a fun little size. I could automate this and then just have, I could even prep this. I gotta review how to do a Coptic stitch, but I could even build in, like, I don't have to use an awl, I can just cut it out. Okay, let's see how this uploads from this download that I just got. I'm not gonna be showing, but let me see how this breaks down. So we've got these guys. This should be a score mark. And these guys should just be a basic cut. And these should be attached. And it gives me something that's longer than I anticipated. This is 12 inches. Single page length times 2 plus flap length times 2 plus tab width times 2. That's where I made a mistake. Okay. Oh, this should be 16, which gives me slightly shorter length, but let's pull this down to 3.5. And it's 10.3. Let's come back to Cricut, cancel this, delete this, go to uploads, delete this image, and upload the second one that I downloaded. It's about the same size, but this should be a score mark. This all should be okay. Let's attach these together. Should be able to get like 5 out of this. Should make 10 pages. Let's make this like a weird height. I just make this 1.1. I'm just going to leave it at 1, and this is going to be widthwise. How many can I get out of 8? 7. How long is that? 10.4. I want to see if I got this correct. So if I have these being 1 inch wide, I can get 7 easily. The length is 10.4. That should cut out of 11 pretty clean. I should be okay with this. Okay, let's do one more export, and then I'm gonna try cutting this out, seeing if I can't get 7 of these in a single sheet of paper and then form it all together. And then see where I need to make adjustments. So let's open this up, upload this, add that to the canvas, and this is a score mark. This whole thing is attached, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's make it. Eight and a half by 11. It should work. Let's try this out. Okay, position-wise, it's fine. Oop. Okay, make it. Eight and a half by 11. Continue using cardstock. Once it goes and communicates, medium cardstock, tools, and go. Just about there. Sorry, this is a boring thing to look at, but I'm about ready. Save a version. This is 14 page test. Let's come back over to here, turn off Firefox. There's not too much to look at right this moment. It just scored everything, now it has to cut stuff out. Getting there. I don't know how, not showing it right now, but Cricut like does a preview of how it gives a percentage estimate of how much it's cut. Don't know how it does it because it's not by the amount of time. I think it's the total amount of like cut material, which is misleading when you have really long singular cuts. I might have gotten my math completely wrong on this thing. We will find out. It says it's 64% done, which I'm guessing means that it's 4 out of 7 cut out. Again, this is sort of the loose structure. I didn't add any windows on this. I just want to see if I have the general math conceptually correct to get a structure. Also, this might function better with an odd number or an even number of pages. I gotta figure out a little bit more of the built-out structure of it all. It says it's 100% done, but it's still cutting. So here's the cutout thing. This is the fun part to remove because it's easy and doesn't need to stay intact. And here's the more normal sections to separate out. It's a little sticky. Okay, let's try assembling this. Let's see how it works. Or if it doesn't. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay, well, first things first, I could make this a little divot as opposed to just cut. It's got a little bit of a tightness to it, but conceptually it works. This would need to lengthen a little bit. Need to make the pages a little bit shorter, or the tab, make these guys, if the pages are shorter, because this is a perfect world, or perfect case scenario. I think the easiest thing would be just have the page length be a little bit shorter. But concept works. This is a fun little guy. Would be offsetting the positioning of things, or increasing the length of these tabs. So depends on what I want to do. This is 14 frames. Conceptually, what would happen is with each of these, there's an outline cut, and I'll have to switch what they are. Increasing the length means that this overall is a little bit larger. Yeah, okay. So where is this flap length? Just throw a flap adjustment. And this is just going to be 0.05. Let's make it 0.1. Flap length plus flap adjust. Say it's that. Now it's slightly larger. The overall length is still under 11 inches, give or take. I could try to do this again. Let's make another adjustment. You're not seeing what I'm doing, so let me come back over here. So what I did was I made the length a little bit larger, and instead of having the slit cuts, or I can still have these, let's modify expand, modify round corners, nope, modify expand, I think this is better if I just make these tiny little things. Okay, so I have slit length. I need to make slit width. Did I just type something in or not? Yeah, I did. Okay. So let's grab a rectangle. This is going to be scale X is slit width. Slit width is going to be 0.1. No, 0.05. Let's just treat it as that for the time being. 0.05 inches, 1/20th of an inch. Sure, why not? And then the height is going to be slit length. And the position for this one, let's wait a second. Let's also pull in a circle. You know what, let's make a new component just on its own. This is full page. You know what, I can... Let's just pull it in. Rectangle and this guy. And the rectangle has a scale width of slit width, slit length. And the circle has a scale of slit width. Let's see if those are compatible. They are. Okay. For my own sake, let's double up on the circle. Let's change this rectangle position to be 0, 0. Circle is 0. Slit length divided by 2. Circle this one is negative slit length divided by 2. And all three of these together modify Boolean union. Slit. Okay. Full page. Get rid of these guys. Slit cuts. Mute those for the moment. This is full page. And into full page. Slit 1 is going to be a single page length. Negative page height divided by 2 plus slit length divided by 2. This is single page length plus flat length plus tab height by 2. This page, oh, plus tab height divided by 2. Width, not tab width, width divided by 2. Okay, I think that works. Let's duplicate these. This is position-wise pretty simple. Negative. And let's go back over here. And tab split A is 1 times this is a group. This is slits. Modify boolean difference. And let's take this and add round corners. Round corners are going to be very small. Almost negligible. 0.02. Okay, I shouldn't have anything there. Yeah. Okay. And just for the heck of it, I want to see what it looks like to have a rectangle in here that is scale flat length minus 0.75 page height times 0.75, and this position is single page length plus flat length divided by 2, and the height is 0. And that'll be like, should be good. Okay, let's make this a little bit smaller. 0.5 divided by 2. You know what, let's leave that. Copy paste, and this location is negative minus. And this should function. Let's save for Cricut. And I still have Cricut open. That is not open. We're going to test this again, seeing how it functions structurally with some removed material. Upload this. Turn this on. And these are score lines. Attach this all together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See if I'm given the option to do an 8.5 by 11. Not quite. I'll be a little tight here. Let me offset this slightly. Should be good. Got some more time to kill between now and then and now and then, now and then, now and then, and now and then, now and then, and now just looking at my phone. Where is this at? Finish scoring. Now it's got to cut. It'll take a little bit longer to cut this time. There's no need for this, but I got it. Full page. Full page will be at position 00. And let's modify this, modify linear repeat. The displacement is 0 here, and this direction it'll be page height. Cool. Repetitions. What is this? Page number. Number divided by 2. It's a different export option. If I didn't want to copy and paste, but this gives me a little bit more clearance. Bum, bum. Beep, beep. Ba-dum, ba-dum. It should be a little bit easier to assemble, but we'll find out. There's something pointy that I left on the floor. Okay. Let's come over here. Turn off Firefox. Just had them. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I really would like to use them. How I misplaced them? They are up here. Okay. Okay, and get these guys off. Okay, that's worse in a different way. I think I'm just gonna have to adjust this again. Slit width, dash gap, page height, flap adjustment. Let's just make this 0.05. 0.03 even. Just something that, now what I have is a center point that's too tight. Just gonna have to play with this a little bit as time goes on, but concept-wise still works, and it's a little bit looser from here. Anyway, so So it's similar in size, but you can see that when it's constrained here, maybe it's a little bit better when it's like that, but smaller, smaller interior space. I'm curious what this would be like if it were all adhered. But I think that adjustment is too much because it adds like a full inch, because I did 0.1 and there are 14 of these, so yeah, it adds over an inch. 0.01 even. I just wanted to give it a little bit more. This is something that I'm going to have to make adjustments as I work through it, but I've got a solid baseline of where this will sort of start from, and then I'll keep going. Not too much to really review with it, just that I gotta work on it more. And yeah. So, let's just talk about it. I don't know. I don't have any real direction at this point. But if you want to, I'm going to continue refining this in the following or coming days, and I don't know how long this will take. I've got a pretty solid grasp right now of the structure, but it is a decent amount of refinement to pull things in a little bit, because you can see even with like the minor adjustment that I made here, that's 1/10 of an inch, which isn't nothing, but it adds up and it structurally makes it so this like is almost a full length off, which might be anyway. Got stuff to figure out, but I've got a loose structure that seems to work pretty well. These gaps in the middle would be much smaller for the final piece. What I need to work on is figuring out a central thing in here and how to, I think it needs to be smaller. If this is flap length, if this is minus flap adjustment, then smaller. I've got to figure this out. But for the time being, yeah, I'm going to just do my spiel now. If you want to buy stuff from me, you can go to my web store, traceloops.com/store. If you want to purchase something and have it shipped outside of the US, you can email me, traceloops@traceloops.com. You can also email me with comments, concerns, questions, curiosities, commissions, etc., etc. Again, that is traceloops@traceloops.com. If you want to watch this stream or other streams in full, you can see recorded versions of them on my YouTube by going to the live section of my YouTube channel. If you want to follow me on other platforms, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, Spotify, all of those places. I'm Traceloops, TRACELOOPS. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so by going to patreon.com/traceloops, where you will find high-resolution versions of artwork that I create during streams. You'll also find a selection of tutorials, and then at higher tiers, new songs from me weekdays. And at the highest tier, you get a monthly postcard from me with original artwork on the front, little message on the back, and a discount to that aforementioned web store. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure if I'll be streaming tomorrow. Depends on how long an appointment goes for, and if anything else comes up with it. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna head out. Have a good afternoon and evening. Adios. I got disconnected from my YouTube, so now I gotta click back in here and then in the stream. So now goodbye.